How can a 10-minute pause save your marriage? Well, early in our marriage, we came from different backgrounds. We had plenty of things to disagree about and fight about and all that, and it got pretty ugly pretty often. But after a few years of working on it, we had really good success, and that's kind of where we get our energy from and what motivates all the stuff that we're doing here. And this was a big tip that really helped us once we worked it out. So we would get into it about something, and things would get really, really heated, and Claudia would just say, let's just drop it. Right?
Because that is the easiest thing to do. Just drop it and let's leave this ugliness behind us. It seemed good, but, it would always crop back up, right?
Right. You sweep it under the carpet, it grows and comes back bigger and bites you when you don't expect it.
Yep.
Right. So, for me, it's like, okay, well, I'll drop it. Yeah, but for how long? Right. And at the time that question was not appreciated, but we eventually got to, okay, fine, 10 or 15 minutes. Right. And that turns out to work really well for us. And, we didn't really know why at the time exactly, but we've found out since then. So you may have heard of fight or flight. Has to do with our brain and our physiology and our psychology. So you can think of the brain as having two parts. There's a older, more primitive part that's like super, super fast. It's not real smart, but it's really good at saving your life. So, for example, if you're a lizard and you see a shadow of a hawk flying overhead or something like that, you need to get under a rock like right now or into a log or down a hole or something. And if you spend time strategizing and weighing your options, you're launched, right? You can't do that. And on the above that, right, we have sort of our godly brain, our higher brain that is slower, but it can think and it can strategize and it can analyze and like what's best for me, what's best for Claudia, what's best for our family, what's best now and next week and into the future, what is God's will, being able to discern stuff like that, right, that a lizard just can't do, right? So, I mean, they both have their place, but you don't want them, try to make each other's decisions. The thing is that when we get upset or frustrated or angry or all these negative emotions, the lizard brain takes over. And our higher brain just goes offline. It's just gone. What's left kind of just goes out of its way to agree with, hey, lizard, whatever you have to say, right? Because when you're threatened, that's, historically what works out well, right? But not in our marriages. So it's a little provocative, but I like to say that whenever we're having negative emotions, we automatically become stupider, right? And, I've been there, I've done that. I mean, you may have experienced it, but I'll certainly tell you, attest that it's true. So with this kind of stuff in mind, how do we actually put this into use in communication in marriage?
Well, that's a great question. The first thing is that it's important to make an agreement with each other, because if only one of you agrees to take a break, then the other one might not go along with it, right? So it's really important that both of you are on board to take a break, to be able to say, hey, I really need a breather. I really need to just cool down. And secondly, both of you need to honor that agreement. So, it's really tempting to get in the last word or to say, well, just hold on. Let me continue with my, why do you have to do this when I'm talking?
Yeah.
Right. So it's really important to just say, okay, sure, let's do it. See you back in 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And then thirdly, you want to take that time, that break, to pray, to really pray, because the church teaches that God gives us sacramental graces in order to live the difficult times in our marriage. And, this is one of them, when we're heated and there's an argument and God's ready to just, he wants to give us that grace. And if you pray, you can, basically ask God to help you. Ask Our Lady to come to your aid. Give me the clarity to see what my husband's trying to say. Give me the words, the virtue of patience, whatever you need at the time to resolve this difficulty. Because what's most important really is your relationship. And if you don't see that at the time, prayer will help you to see it. God will give you that clarity that, okay, what we're fighting about really isn't as important as us, the relationship we have. So pray and ask for help in strategizing, and humility in seeing what your spouse is trying to get at. So taking that time in the break to really try to get all of that is really important. And then fourthly, when you return from the break, it's really important to come back cool and calm, and trying to avoid setting off that lizard brain.
Yeah, don't invite the lizard back, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So you don't want to come back with fire in your eyes,
Yeah.
ready for punches.
All right, so if you curious about this kind of stuff or want to read more about it, John Gottman writes about it in his book
7 Principles on Making Marriage Work.
Yeah, great book for all kinds of other reasons too. So we highly recommend it. But yeah, in particular, he noticed that when he's measuring the people that he was working with, when they their heart rate goes up and stuff like that, they're in this fight or flight mode, that he could predict with some pretty scary accuracy whether they were getting divorced or not. And yeah, that's kind of where they're headed. So that's one. The other one is there's a book called Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. I thought it was particularly interesting. Not specifically related to divorce, but just this, fast and slow brain. I thought that was very, very eye-opening. So we invite you to go ahead and try this out, make an agreement with each other that either one of you can call for a timeout, that you'll honor that agreement and see if it helps. And, it still takes work. It's still going to take some time, but this might give you some good results even sooner than you expect. So, and if you do, feel free to share them, and we will see you next time.